answers back with a fiery letter to House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. And protesters against the president are getting their message across too.
We know that what Trump did was wrong and that he must be held to account.
Demonstrators rally in Portland and across the nation ahead of this pivotal day in D.C. Also this morning, paying for paper. A new Oregon law gives shoppers a money-saving reason to bring reusable bags to the grocery store. Plus, how about this alarming trend? A new survey shows the number of teens vaping marijuana has doubled over the past year. And we're also talking about a power struggle this morning. As coal plants close, there may not be enough electricity to keep our lights on. Pat Doris shows us how a clean energy future could mean rolling blackouts. This is the 6 o'clock hour of Sunrise, and it starts right now.
We start off your Wednesday morning with a live look at these really cool Christmas lights out at Portland International Raceway. Christmas just about a week away, but there's still time to get in on the festivities. Our Tim Gordon is there in North Portland this morning. We're going to hear from him coming up.
Good morning to you. Happy Wednesday. If you are watching us right now, you are either watching us streaming or on 8.2 or other alternate channels. But you were talking about some serious rain coming our way. It's kind of changing timelines a little now.
The heavy rain rate's been pushed back until Friday. So it still looks like tomorrow's going to be wet. But tomorrow may just be occasional shots of rain that are a half of an inch of rain. That's called normal. We'll get you caught up. Here's radar right now. You can see the rain offshore. It looks like we'll get through the morning hours dry, and then we'll have afternoon showers starting to come into Portland. The bus stop is chilly this morning. Let's get you to those temperatures. About 34 on average out the door. Salem, good morning. You folks are actually in the 20s right now. We have some frost. We have some fog pockets around. I start a shower chance as early as lunchtime, but it's a better bet that it holds off a little bit later. There will be some showers on the radar and about 42 when the kids get out of school. We have, by the way, let's lose the bus stop and get you to a couple of mountain warnings. Storm warning up for ice. This is for the Upper Hood River Valley starting at 7 p.m. tonight. This could be really bad accumulating freezing rain. That warning through tomorrow morning. Cascades, more of a typical warning, goes up tonight through Friday night for snow. More on all that shortly.
All right, Rob, we're going to get to our top story now. It's the country's big story this morning. After weeks of hearings and back and forth debates, the House is set to vote on 2 articles of impeachment against President Trump.
Debate is getting underway right now on Capitol Hill. It could go on for at least 6 hours before a formal vote is taken, which is scheduled for 3:30 and 4:30 our time today. Last night, the president sent a 6-page letter to House Speaker Nancy Pelosi demanding she, quote, immediately cease this impeachment fantasy. He added more due process was afforded to those accused in the Salem witch trials. Meanwhile, the Senate is preparing for the upcoming trial, likely. Republican majority leaders say he will not allow witnesses and sparked outrage from Democrats with this remark.
I'm not an impartial juror. This is a political process. There's not anything judicial about it.
Do you want someone who proudly says they are not impartial to be on a jury judging high crimes and misdemeanors?
So if the House votes to impeach the president today, a Senate trial is set to begin in early January.
And from the East Coast to the West, demonstrators called for President Trump to be removed from office. Our Catherine Cook spoke with some of the people who showed up to Portland's waterfront last night.
We call for the impeachment and removal of President Donald J. Trump.
At Waterfront Park, some used letters to spell it out.
Impeach! Remove!
Others used fruit. Their message was the same.
Impeach and remove. What else can we say?
We know that what Trump did was wrong and that he must be held to account.
They're calling this night Impeachment Eve, a nod to what Wednesday and the House of Representatives may bring.
My hope and belief is that the House is going to vote to impeach the president.
The House will be in order.
The House will consider 2 articles of impeachment, one for obstruction of Congress, the other for abuse of power. Democrats say President Trump solicited the interference of Ukraine in the 2020 election.
We know that there are crimes. Nobody is above the law, and we need to make sure that we say that with a loud, clear voice.
What do we want? Impeachment! When do we want it? Now!
Portland is among hundreds of cities holding so-called nobody is above the law protests, including Seattle, Phoenix, and Denver.
And just seeing a bunch of people get together and say, we love our country, we love the Constitution, and I am not going to let my kids lose the country that I believe in.
If the House approves either article of impeachment, the Senate would hold a trial. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell would be one of the jurors deciding the president's fate. He said he'd work with the White House counsel on how to proceed with the trial.
That's not a fair trial, and so we'll be back out here when it's time for that too. Hopefully we get some holidays in between though.
For now, they have impeachment eve.
No one is above the law.
Catherine Cook, KGW News.
And a reminder, NBC News is in a special report on Channel 8 right now. You can watch the House debate there or stream it at kgw.com.
Our top local story this morning has an awful ending. A Vancouver teenager who had been missing since the summer has been found dead. For months, the family of 17-year-old Nikki Kuhnhausen pleaded for help to find her. No one had seen her since June the 6th. Detectives say she met a man on Snapchat that day. They've now arrested that man for her murder. They say the two got into a fight when he learned that she was transgender. Someone in the woods walking near Larch Mountain found Nikki 11 days ago. Detectives will hold a press conference later this morning to share more information about their investigation.
An Oregon man in prison for years over the killing of his girlfriend is now free. This is video as he walked out of prison late last night. Nick McGuffin was accused of murdering Leah Freeman back in 2000. He was sentenced to 10 years. The case happened in the small town of Coquille down near Coos Bay, and it got national attention. Well, this month, a judge overturned his conviction because the state police crime lab never mentioned it had also found another man's DNA on Leah's shoe. The judge said that crucial information could have led the jury to a different verdict. Now, this is where things get a little complicated. The Coos County DA tells the Oregonian he thinks authorities did convict the right man. But now that it's been so long, witness memories may make a retrying of the case pretty challenging. So the state decided not to appeal the judge's decision, and McGuffin is a free man.
Not sure what's going on here. Just driving through Battleground, and we had 4 or 5 units pull out, and they all stepped out, guns drawn.
Our viewer Julie sent this in to us from Battleground. She came across the scene just as police were arresting a hit-and-run suspect who apparently police say also fired a gun. Police tell us the man hit someone near SR 503 and Northeast 149th this morning. He's then accused of firing shots into the tires of a parked car. Officers confronted him on Main Street in Battleground. That's where what you're seeing right here in this video. They recovered a gun and booked him into jail. The person he's accused of hitting, by the way, is expected to be okay.
The plan to widen I-5 near the Rose Quarter is on hold now. The state had approved money to widen the freeway in that part of town because it has some of the worst traffic backups in the city. But Governor Kate Brown is asking ODOT to delay that project. The governor wants to look for alternative ways to reduce congestion instead. Some people that live in that part of the city also have opposed the I-5 expansion. A meeting on this project is planned for next month. We're also getting close right now to decision time at the grocery store. So here it comes. Pay for paper or BYOB. Bring your own bags. Starting January 1st at all stores across Oregon, you'll have to use a reusable bag or pay at least 5 cents per bag when you check out. Grocery stores and other retailers are banned from using plastic bags. That does not apply, by the way, to those smaller plastic bags in the produce section.
Now let's get some more headlines in your morning rush. The Senate gave final approval to a Pentagon funding plan worth nearly $740 billion. It includes a 3% pay raise for members of the military. That is the biggest raise they have gotten in more than a decade. Lawmakers also added 12 weeks of paid parental leave for federal workers. President Trump says he will sign the bill. Excuse me. The president's former deputy campaign manager, Rick Gates, has been sentenced to 45 days in jail and 36 months of probation. The sentence comes nearly 2 years after he pled guilty to lying to investigators and conspiracy. Gates could have gotten 5 years, but the judge was lenient because of his cooperation with the special counsel's investigation into the Russian election interference.
All right, let's get to an Instagram story now. Instagram cracking down on misinformation on its platform. Its parent company, Facebook, working with fact-checking groups to start labeling certain posts as false information. However, posts by politicians, including ads, will not be fact-checked, even if they're blatantly inaccurate. Another new survey shows a sharp rise in the number of American teens vaping with marijuana. So 14% of high school seniors reported doing it in just the past month. That's double the number from a year ago. Almost 4% of 8th graders have also said they have vaped with pot. More than 24 tornadoes ripped through the southern United States. They've leveled people's homes, they've uprooted trees, and they left parts of Louisiana and several other states in ruin. For more, here's Morgan Chesky.
At a tornado outbreak wreaking havoc in the south, the deadly storms tearing through several states. Homes leveled, trees uprooted, and parts of Louisiana in ruin.
Wow. File cabinet from the school, desks from the school.
Pastor Rusty Thrift looking at the school flattened by a massive twister. More than 20 students and staff evacuated just in time, taking cover in his church just yards away.
I mean, it's heartbreaking because all of us this is home for us.
One teenager diving under a church pew with his friend.
The last thing I could see before everything broke loose was just the fear on his face, and I could hear the screams from my other friends.
If you don't bring those kids out of the school,
there are no kids. If we don't bring those kids out of the school, it's a search and rescue.
Several communities now left to clean up the destruction left behind by the massive storm system.
You see it on TV, but to live it and to see it, it's a whole different ballgame.
While others region-wide brace for the possibility of even more to come. Morgan Chesky, NBC News, Alexandria.
All right, Rod Hill steps in. A big story, of course, across the nation, but you're focusing on the rainfall that may be delayed now, the serious stuff until Friday.
We still have rain in the forecast tonight and tomorrow, but it looks like now, tonight and tomorrow, is going to be just typical stuff. For us, it's like, hey, it's raining. So what we've been making a big deal about, it looks to be delayed until Friday. And there are still signs that Friday could rack up a couple inches of rain just in that 24-hour period. The fetch of moisture is still sitting back here and is expected to be channeling into us Thursday overnight, Friday through Friday night. I want to say, and I think this is probably accurate, that the overall chance of river flooding for some of our smaller rivers is starting to look not as likely. So that's very, very good news. Here we are this morning, a mix of clouds all areas. We have rain holding offshore. A couple warnings to tell you about, and the first one's a biggie. This is an ice storm warning for freezing rain for the upper Hood River Valley. Good morning, Parkdale. This is you, of course. Starts at 7 o'clock tonight, expires tomorrow morning. So that could be a bad freezing rainstorm. You know how that is. You just can't go anywhere. Cascade winter storm warning, a typical one for heavy wet snow, starts tonight. That goes through Friday night above 4,500 feet. They could get some snow today and tomorrow at Government Camp, but the heavy shot of moisture will be rain at Government Camp. So the heaviest rain, what I talked about, holds off until Friday. We're still talking about maybe 3-5 inches of rain at the coast, maybe closer to just over 2 total here in the valley, most of which will fall Friday. Snow levels 5,000 feet starting tomorrow through Friday night. That would give Timberline Lodge 36 inches of heavy wet snow. That'll make you plow the parking lot. Here are the temperatures outside right now, 37 degrees in Portland in our 7-day. We start to dry it out with a mix of sun and showers on Sunday, guys.
All right, Rodney, thank you very much. Let's get to another friend of the Sunrise Show. His name is Timmy G. Timmy Gordon. He's live at Portland International Raceway this morning. Tim, you're talking winter wonderland.
Yes, and did I hear 37 degrees? It feels about like that, but it's worth it because we are out here at Portland International Raceway. Look at these beautiful light displays. You know, they pretty much switched over to LED completely now. They got 250 of these different light sets. Some of them animated. You see the little dancers there. Their feet are kicking. It's beautiful out here. We're going to tell you, how you can get out here, bring your family out in your car. Supports the Sunshine Division, a great organization that helps people all over the Portland area. And so we're going to show you more of this beautiful scene from North Portland coming up, you guys. Nina, I'm going to send it back to you in that nice warm studio.
I love it, Tim. Thank you so much. You're doing a great job. Those lights really popping in the early morning hours. All right, a historic change is coming in the next 5 years for all of us in how we turn on our lights. So we use a ton of coal power right now for electricity. But because it is terrible for the environment, those coal plants here in the Northwest will be shutting down. KGW's Pat Doris has been investigating the consequences of this and talked to me about a big special he has been working on. So as you watch our conversation, you'll see a code pop up on your screen. Point your phone's camera at it. It'll take you directly to his documentary on our YouTube playlist. Pat, your series is called Power Struggle, and you have been traveling across the state to really delve into this because this is a really highly charged political and environmental topic. What have you been kind of learning about the consequences of when these coal plants shut down?
Well, first of all, it's going to affect every one of us. Whether you like them or hate them, you're going to feel the impact. It's going to be good for the environment. Clearly, the coal plants going away going to help out. Boardman, for example, pumps out about 1.5 million metric tons of carbon dioxide each year. That's not great. But the other impact is something that not a lot of us are thinking about. We actually may not have enough electricity when coal goes away. Tonight at 6:30, we're going to take a look at what that means and what happens with coal plants around the West. Spoiler, they're losing ground to those who worry about their pollution. And the governors of Oregon and Washington, they are definitely behind the push to shut them down.
The future is not in coal, and we have moved past it. We're past coal.
Yes, and we're moving forward towards a non-carbonized economy.
Okay, so they're obviously on board.
Yep.
Wind, solar, hydro, it all sounds great.
Yeah.
It is great.
Yeah.
But let's focus on that gap between coal and those because that stuff is not enough.
Right. Coal is dependable, so they can turn the switch and have the electricity come out. When you're dealing with renewables, not always so much. And there is a serious question now about whether we'll have enough electricity in 5 or 6 years when coal goes away. Wind farms, for example, only produce their full power about 30% of the time or less. I was really surprised to learn that. Some government projections show we'll be in a bit of a danger for blackouts a year from now and much bigger chance 6 years from now.
So, Pat, this is, I mean, you said the word blackout.
Yeah.
I had not really heard of this before. I mean, you always think of like, let's find a more renewable energy source than coal and gas and all that. But blackouts, that gets my attention.
It's not really been a serious issue in our lifetimes, except very briefly in 2000 and 2001 when there was a shortage because of a drought and they were able to avert those blackouts. But now there's an issue looming on the future, and we want to tell this story so that people are at least aware of what the possibilities are. And the utilities are grappling with this right now, so it's going to be very interesting to see how it shakes out.
And it affects every single one of us.
Absolutely.
All right, Pat, your full series runs tonight at 6:30. Be sure to join us for that. Thank you so much.
You bet.
I'm going to promote that heavily myself. That is,
yeah, it's already online if you want to watch
special.
it right now because this is super important.
Yeah.
It's on our YouTube channel and on KGW.com.
Yeah, it's,
Make the wind blow for us.
We need the wind to blow for that to be a treat. That's for sure. All right, outside right now we have temperature. We have no wind right now. We'd be cold. We have wind out near the Columbia River Gorge. I guess that's not true, but most of us are calm. 40 degrees in Portland downtown, 36 in West Lynn, freezing out in Hillsboro, 30 up in Battleground. It's been perfectly still wind-wise, and that's allowed temperatures in the Mid-Valley to dip into the 20s. There's Salem and Dallas and Kaiser, all in the 20s at this hour. Some areas of frost and fog around. The bus stop, foggy spots, but not many of them. 34 out the door, 8 o'clock. We're probably still dry at lunchtime, but I'm saying, well, it's at least possible we get a shower. Most of the rain is going to be more like mid-afternoon coming in, 44 degrees, and some rain in the area when the kids get out of school today. And that includes the coast, some snow showers down to 4,000 feet in the mountains coming this afternoon and tonight. A dry day out east, highs in the 30s. You folks will get some snow showers coming in tonight. And our 7-day forecast, if you're just joining us, it's rain at times tomorrow, but the big soak has been delayed until Friday when we all get, well, soaked. And it's birthday time. Here we go with our list on a Wednesday. Elena is 6 years young, 6 years old. I like to be old at that age.
That's fancy. So cool.
I like to be young. Here's Bentley. He's old. He's 6 years old in McLeanville. Happy birthday to you, young man. Azzy? How would you say that?
I would probably say Ozzy.
Ozzy?
I don't know.
Good looking man. 23 years old. Happy birthday to you. Hey, I like it. Noelle is 36. Happy birthday to you on this Wednesday. Donna is 67 today. Happy birthday, celebrating in Portland. Terry is a big 7-0. That's a big birthday celebration. Happy birthday to you. Stays in shape, it looks like.
I know.
Birthday hype and pics at KGW.com. We will celebrate right along with you.
Now we're getting right to your business headlines from Cheddar. Some of the biggest tech companies in the world are being sued for benefiting from child labor, and a major retailer is laying off some of its top employees. Here's Baker Machado to explain.
Bed Bath & Beyond is firing 6 senior executives, all as the company's new CEO tries to revive sales of the home furnishing chain. The list of departures includes the company's chief merchandising officer, the marketing officer, and the digital officer. Now, Bed Bath & Beyond's chief brand officer also resigned last week. Meanwhile, a new lawsuit accuses Apple, Dell, Microsoft, Tesla, and even Alphabet of benefiting from child labor in African cobalt mines. Now, the suit, filed by the organization International Rights Advocates, seeks damages from the companies on behalf of 13 anonymous plaintiffs whose children have been affected. Now, cobalt is a critical ingredient for batteries and electronics. And a 5th employee has been fired over at Google as the former worker filed a federal labor complaint accusing the company of improperly firing employees for labor organizing activities. This comes after Google fired 4 employees in November, all under similar circumstances. And that's Cheddar, Business and Tech Update. I'm Baker Machado from the floor of the New York Stock Exchange.
Oh, Baker. Oh, Baker.
Baker.
On to something more important, the KGW Great Toy Drive. Check out all the donations that you have helped make this year's toy drive such a success. We packed up all of the toys that we've gotten so far earlier this week. They will be given to kids around the area. Today is the big day, the parade of toys, where more than 400 businesses who have been collecting for us this whole month bring in all of those donations in those bags. Drew, you're going to be live streaming this for us around the noon hour. Yes. Thank you so much to everyone who gave. Then Friday, the big day where the charities take them away to give to the kids.
Oh, that's going to be so cool.
It all came together so nicely this year. All right, Nina, what should we talk about next? And please say cars.
Yeah, cars.
Okay, let's talk about cars. Good idea. We know cars are getting smarter, and that means the drivers behind the wheel of those smarter cars are now safer, right? Well, according to a new AAA study, that is not necessarily the case. It appears that as cars get smarter, drivers get less smart. In fact, a new study finds that as car safety systems become more advanced, the people behind the wheel actually drive worse. Let's connect the dots. The research released by AAA looked at adaptive cruise control, which keeps a safe distance between cars on the highway, and lane assist technology, which helps drivers stay in their lane. Both can make drivers safer when used correctly, but that's where the problem lies. These systems are designed to help, but you still need to pay attention behind the wheel. The AAA study found people with the technology were twice as likely to engage in distracted driving. And it also found that drivers who didn't understand how the safety systems work were less likely to drive distracted. That suggests the problem is with the people who put a little too much faith in the technology.
Yeah, I wish I had more technology.
I have some of that technology in my car. Do you?
No, not that technology. But this reminds me of those stories where like people follow their GPS, navigation systems into like the places where they shouldn't.
You're not going logical.
It's not logical,
it's
right?
It's a dead end. It's telling me to go 5 more blocks.
Go forward. I'm just gonna go.
I do have that. I've got a Nissan Rogue. I mean, literally, I bought a Nissan Rogue in February. In January, if you had asked me, will you ever buy a Nissan? I'd say no. Like, I never looked at a Nissan in my life. Somehow I ended up with the Rogue, but it has that technology where it lets me know if I'm kind of going over the lane a little bit.
Oh, right.
Does that help? Do you use it?
Well, it's on and it tells me, and I certainly move back into the middle of the lane when it tells you I'm
I
getting
heard
close
you say
to
the brake pedal goes down, and that's a weird feeling.
When you get close to a car in front of you, if you don't start braking on your own, this car will start braking for you.
Wow.
I mean, literally, my foot's not on the brake.
Yeah,
and
that's weird.
It'll make you, but it's helpful. Because if I didn't hit the brake, I would have hit the car.
Okay, so you've been saved a couple times.
I'm not a good driver, Christine and Nina. I've admitted it before, and I'll say it again. I'm not a good driver, but this technology, in my case, is helping a little bit.
Okay. Thank goodness for the Nissan, then. The right choice. This is not an ad. All right, time now for your digital dive, where we show you 3 KGW stories you can check out online right now. So as the year comes to an end, we are remembering some of Oregon's titans of business. hello, who passed this year. The loss of Gert Boyle, the tough mother who oversaw the rise of Columbia Sportswear, is the first name that comes to mind for many of us. But we also said goodbye to people like Larry Weinberg, the first owner of the Trailblazers. You can find the full list of those we lost in 2019 online. Looking ahead to the new year, 4 major laws are taking effect in Washington January 1st. Minimum wage going up, same with the smoking age. There are also new rules for family leave and kids' car seats. All the details online. And time is running out to make sure those holiday gifts get there on time. So we have a full shipping guide with deadlines for major retailers, the Postal Service, UPS, and FedEx. You can check out those stories on our website, social, or our news app.
The newest member of the Gresham Police Department has been chosen for his unique ability to comfort others. This is Tag. He was officially sworn in yesterday. Brittany Falkers shows us what he'll be doing while he's on duty.
Raise your right paw, your left paw.
It's a big day for this 2-year-old black lab named Tag.
I, Tag, do solemnly affirm that I will faithfully and diligently perform the duties of comfort dog for the Gresham Police Department.
Sworn in Tuesday, the newest member on the force.
Congratulations, Tag, and welcome to the family.
The new badge comes with an important duty.
The goal of this program is to provide emotional support during and following traumatic events.
Tag's priority isn't catching the bad guys, it's helping the good guys. The national numbers show close to 1 in 4 officers has thoughts of suicide, and compared to the general population, there's higher rates of depression, PTSD, and burnout.
It's a very difficult job. We see some bad things. We deal with people when they're in their worst situations on a regular basis, and having this guy around is going to be very helpful for everybody.
Tag's handler already sees the sweet pup having a positive impact.
Just people starting their shift. I've been taking him to roll calls at the beginning of shift. Everybody's just super excited to see him.
Tag's duties will extend beyond the department. He'll also be a comfort dog for crime and trauma victims.
Give it a kiss.
At his debut, he made the rounds, showing plenty of attention and affection.
Look at that tail, though.
Tag was donated to the department from the organization Guide Dogs for the Blind. He was in training to be a guide dog, but something got in the way.
Tags need to go outside a little too often. Eliminated him from their program, so he decided he needed a career change.
Lucky for Gresham Police, that brought him here, because these puppy kisses are a superpower for officers when they need it most. Brittany Falkers, KGW News.
All right, our 6:30 half-hour sunrise, of course, comes up next. And we have this video to share with you in the next half hour. Yeah, that is one deer, and here comes a second deer. 2 near misses shared with us from the Clackamas County Sheriff's Office. This is a reminder to keep your eyes peeled on the roads, especially this time of the year when we have so much darkness when we're driving to and from work.
Plus, we are hearing what customers think of the upcoming statewide plastic bag ban in Oregon, and we want to hear from you. Are you going to have to go out and buy some new reusable bags, or are you going to pay the 5 cents to just have the paper ones? This is in all stores, not just the grocery store, starting January 1st. Let us know in our morning poll. It's coming up.
let's go right to your headlines. Hello, and then I go to headlines.
This is KGW News at Sunrise.
6:30 on a Wednesday morning, 1 week exactly before Christmas Day, and we are sharing the holiday lights with you this morning at a Portland International Raceway. They call this annual event Winter Wonderland. So how about that? Tim Gordon is going to check in with us in about 15 minutes for more on this year's Winter Wonderland Holiday Light Show.
Yeah, good morning, and thank you so much for waking up with us on this Wednesday. Let's get right to your headlines. The plan to widen I-5 is on hold. The state had approved money to widen the freeway in the Rose Quarter. It's got some of the worst traffic in Portland, but Governor Kate Brown asked ODOT to delay the project. She wants to look for alternative ways to reduce congestion instead. Some people living nearby have fiercely opposed the I-5 expansion. A meeting on the project is planned for next month. And an Oregon man in prison for years, convicted of killing his girlfriend, is now free. This is video as he walked out of prison late last night. Nick McGuffin was accused of murdering Leah Freeman 19 years ago in Coquille, that's down near Coos Bay. A judge overturned the conviction because the state crime lab didn't mention it had also found another man's DNA on Leah's shoe. The judge said that crucial piece of information could have led the jury to a different verdict. We get told this pretty much every year, but you know, this is a really good reminder not to let your Christmas tree dry out. Look at those flames. Tualatin Valley Fire and Rescue set that tree on fire to show it only takes a few seconds for it to go up like that. Crews say typically electrical problems with the lights are what cause these types of fires. And that's also another good reminder, a good time to check your smoke detectors. And those are your headlines.
All right, let's get to weather now. Rod Hill in the Weather Center, and you're kind of moving the timeline for like the heavy rain.
Yeah, so now it looks like we do get some rain tonight, we do get some rain tomorrow, but it's more just typical occasional stuff. And then the deluge of what could be an inch, maybe 2 inches of rain has been pushed back until Friday. Friday night now looks to be the big soak. At one point, it looked like the big soak could start as early as tonight. Right now, 37, we're dry out there. We have some frost, we have some fog pockets around. We have east winds out near the gorge. 43 at lunchtime. I start a shower chance at noon, but everything says it's probably more like mid-afternoon. So we'll see. Certainly we do expect to get wet eventually this afternoon, about 42 at 5 p.m. Here's the way Futurecast shows it. This is 4 o'clock on the map. A little passing shower, more rain offshore. Your complete 7-day coming up shortly.
All right, Rod, thank you. Debate underway right now in the U.S. House of Representatives this morning as lawmakers prepare to vote on the impeachment of President Trump. This is a live look from inside the House chambers on Capitol Hill. That debate expected to go on for at least 6 hours, they have booked. The actual vote may not happen until late our time in the afternoon.
Right. Democrats have the majority, of course, and with that, they're expected to push through impeachment. And that means senators are already preparing for a Senate trial in the new year. With more details on this, here's Tracy Potts.
Rallies across America on the eve of a vote to impeach President Trump on abuse of power and obstruction of Congress.
I'm not watching. I've not seen it. Look, it's a hoax. The whole impeachment thing is a hoax.
His comments follow a scathing letter to House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, demanding that she immediately cease this impeachment fantasy, arguing more due process was afforded to those accused in the Salem witch trials. Pelosi called the letter sick.
He's going all in, and it's going to be hard, it's going to be fast, it's going to be ugly.
Today's schedule, 6 hours of debate with a vote likely early evening. Unknown, will Republicans use procedures to delay?
The legacy of the 116th Congress will be defined by their hatred for President Trump.
The new year defined by a trial expected to begin in early January.
I think this thing's dead as fried chicken in the Senate.
Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has rejected Democrats' request to call witnesses.
I'm not impartial about this at all.
Do you want someone who proudly says they are not impartial to be on a jury judging high crimes and misdemeanors?
President Trump almost certain to be cleared by Republicans controlling the Senate after becoming only the third president ever to face impeachment. Tracy Potts, NBC News, Washington.
As Tracy mentioned, rallies were held across the country with demonstrators calling for President Trump to be removed from office. That includes right here in Portland, where a big crowd gathered last night at Waterfront Park. They joined hundreds of other cities across the country with these so-called nobody is above the law protests.
Just seeing a bunch of people get together and say, we love our country, we love the Constitution, and I am not going to let my kids lose the country that I believe in.
Here's a reminder, NBC News is in a special report right now on our main channel, Channel 8. So you can watch the House debate there or stream it at KGW.com.
Now let's get to one of our top local stories this morning, and the ending to this one is just awful. A Vancouver teen who had been missing since this summer has been found dead. For months, the family of 17-year-old Nikki Kuhnhausen pleaded for help to find her. No one had seen Nikki since June 6th. Detectives say she met a man on Snapchat that day. They've now arrested him for her murder. Detectives also say after the two met, they got into a fight when he learned she was transgender. Someone walking in the woods near Larch Mountain found Nikki 11 days ago. Detectives will hold a press conference later this morning to share more information about their investigation.
Bullying is worse than ever. Kids deal with it at school and, of course, on social media. A family in Bend says things got so bad for their son, Deshaun Adderley, he took his own life. They are now suing the Bend Lapine School District, the county, and 10 students he went to school with. Lindsay Nadrich talked with their attorney, and they say they want this lawsuit to spark change.
In 2017, 14-year-old Deshaun Adderley died by suicide. He was a freshman at Summit High School in Bend and one of the only African-American students there. His family says he was bullied and harassed to the point that he killed himself. They've now filed a lawsuit seeking $400,000 from the Bend Lapine School District, Deschutes County, and 10 unnamed students who went to school with Deshaun. Their attorney, Brian Donahue, says one of their main goals is to change the culture of bullying and how it's dealt with in the school.
Our number one hope and the hope of the family is frankly for just to put the community and the students and the families of Bend Lapine in a better educational environment, one that's free of intimidation. The allegations of conduct that are in this complaint are not isolated incidents to Bend Lapine. These are things that are going on throughout Oregon and frankly, I think throughout America.
Nationally, suicide is one of the leading causes of death among young people. And according to the CDC, kids who report frequently bullying others and those who are frequently bullied are at an increased risk of suicide-related behavior. There are many organizations working to stop bullying, including one called Stand for Courage that started here in the Northwest. Michael Angus got involved while in high school here in Portland.
We've all been the victim, the bystander, and the bully. And so I think we all need to sort of shift that thinking inside of our heads and that behavior inside of our heads so that we can prevent when things do rise and sort of turn into these massive events that get people's attention.
He says part of changing the culture is making sure kids who witness bullying know what to do.
Well, we encourage kids to actually speak up and talk to the bully and say like, hey, that's not really cool, that's not really funny. I'm openly someone who doesn't join in with the fun that you're having. But any time that you just don't participate in it, that's helping at least. Or if you go and talk to the victim afterwards.
Stand for Courage is a student-led program that can be implemented in any school. We'll post more about it on our website if you want to learn more.
If you or someone you know is dealing with the thoughts of suicide, there are people available to talk 24/7. The number for the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline right there on your screen, 1-800-273-8255.
All right, here's a warning now from the Clackamas County Sheriff's Office. Take a look at this video. How many of you have been in the situation where you're driving down a dark road like this, and then out of nowhere, it seems, a deer pops into your view, nearly striking, in this case, that deputy's car. So you see how close the deputy was to hitting the deer there. And then, this is a different deputy, but in the same month, having a near-miss experience as well. So why are we showing this video? The Clackamas County Sheriff's Office thought it was a good reminder, especially this time of the year when it's still so dark when we're driving to and from work, to remind you to keep your eyes peeled on the road.
Okay, time now to grab your phones and let us know how you're responding to a major change coming to store checkout lines. Oregon's statewide plastic bag ban takes effect 2 weeks from today, and that means you'll have to bring reusable bags or pay a fee for paper ones. We want to know what you're planning to do as you vote. Here's Devin Haskins talking to shoppers to get their take.
It's a question we've heard plenty of times.
You want paper or plastic?
And it's going out of style. Plastic bags will soon be a thing of the past.
How you doing, sir? Not bad. You got your own bags here.
Starting January 1st, stores in Oregon will no longer offer single-use plastic bags like these. Instead, they'll be replaced with recyclable plastic or paper bags.
I love them. I didn't think I'd like them, but I like them because they fill up and they're not too cumbersome to carry.
And if you don't bring those reusable shopping bags, the law requires a 5-cent charge per paper bag.
I'm trying to get something to force me to get the bags out of the back of my car, which are out there right now. And I'm using these, so I'll have to, and I will, and that's what I'd like to see happen.
The bag ban was part of a trio of environmentally friendly bills taken up by state legislators last session. There was the law that requires you to ask for plastic straws at restaurants instead of automatically getting them. That one, well, it went into effect immediately. The styrofoam ban failed in the Senate.
Look at our oceans, man. Our oceans are polluted. There's islands of debris and plastics. It's the microplastics that we're not cognizant of. That's what's killing our environment.
These plastic bags used for produce and meat, well, they're exempt, as are restaurants.
I'll do paper for the rest here.
Devin Haskins.
How you doing, sir?
KGW News.
Paper or plastic?
Again, we want to hear from you. Will you be bringing your own bags or paying 5 cents or so for the paper ones? You can let us know at kgw.com/vote or by clicking on the Vote tab in our KGW News app.
I'm curious, of that 76%, now 77% that say they're going to bring their own bags, how many of those people already have their own bags? Because I will tell you, I do not. You do?
You talked about this before. I'm going to get you that for Christmas.
Oh, is that right?
The Carney family will be gifted reusable bags.
All I'm thinking about right now is the fact that now, suddenly, I feel like I have to get you something for Christmas. That's how that works, right?
Dang right, Drew. Jeez.
Isn't that the worst? Someone gives you, hey, I got you this for Christmas.
Oh
my
gosh! You
gosh!
just feel worse about yourself. Yeah, totally.
Please stay right there. I'll be right back. I just got to grab something.
From my desk.
Yeah. Where's $5?
I left it at home. Okay, how you doing, Drew? Or, Rod?
Rod, doing well. Obviously, she didn't give me anything for Christmas. She doesn't even know my name. All right. Hey, here's Wonder. You've seen Wonder. I'm sure pretty much all of you have. Wonder's been a part of our KGW Great Toy Drive for many, many years, often at our collection events. And Wonder is our KGW Dog of the Day. Beautiful Golden. Use the hashtag post on your accounts. We find the pics and then we show them off. Well, we're focused on this big stretch of moisture out here in the Pacific. This is the hours of steady, heavier rain that has now been delayed until Friday. We still have rain coming in tonight, but just occasional stuff. We still have some rain tomorrow, but just occasional stuff. And then the unusually heavy rain in terms of a stretch of hours now pushed back to Friday night. So we don't have any wet issues in terms of rain amounts until that time. All right, mix of clouds right now. You see the rain in green offshore from Washington. Ice storm warning. This is a big deal. This is for freezing rain for the Upper Hood River Valley. Parkdale, good morning. This is for you, starting at 7 o'clock tonight, going through tomorrow morning. Could be a bad ice storm with a 1/4 inch or more of ice accumulation. The precipitation, I guess it's not a sure thing. The precipitation could end up being scattered and not as big as we think, but it doesn't take much ice to really have a mess. Cascade winter storm warning goes up. This is a typical warning for snow tonight through Friday night. This is above 4,500 feet. There will be some snow later today and tomorrow at Government Camp at 4,000 feet, but the heavy stuff will come in as rain at Government Camp Thursday night, Friday night. So the heaviest rain holds off until Friday. We're still thinking between now and Saturday, a good bit of moisture, 3 to 5 inches of rain at the coast, at least 2, maybe more in the valleys, and then snow levels during the heavy stuff Thursday night through Friday will be 5,000 feet snow level. That's Meadows Base, by the way. Temperatures outside this morning, we are dry, 42 in Astoria, 27 in Salem, 21 out in Burns, and Futurecast, there we are, 2 o'clock, just showing limited rain starting to come in. 7-day dry weather to start next week after all this is said and done. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Rodney Hill. Christine Kitawanich, have you noticed through the course of your life that the holiday season can be a busy time of the year. Have you noticed this?
No, I'm kidding. Yes, obviously.
You've got the holiday parties, you've got gift buying. It can sometimes be hard to keep up.
Yeah, there can be a whole lot. But if you're into smart technology, there are some devices out there that can apparently make your life a little easier throughout December. Here's NBC's Liz McLaughlin.
Alexa, show me recipes for chocolate chip cookies.
A smart speaker can be a holiday helper in the kitchen. Use hands-free voice commands to set timers, find recipes, even play instructional videos on a device like Google's Nest Hub Max.
With those devices, you can just say something as simple as, show me how to knead dough.
Special holiday skills are available on Amazon's devices, including the NORAD Santa Tracker.
Hello, NORAD Track Santa.
A smart plug can let you control holiday lights from a smartphone.
That way, if you're out of the house, you can still have the Christmas tree lights on and no one will know that you're not home.
Smart doorbells from Ring and Nest offer festive chimes. Once guests arrive, entertain them with social games on the Nintendo Switch. Or a group game like Pac-Man Party Royale on Apple Arcade.
It's just kind of nice when people maybe don't want to talk politics, they could just jump in and play a game.
Alexa, play number 3. Update classic caroling with makeshift karaoke.
A lot of these music streaming services will show lyrics.
Or stream videos from YouTube. And when the weather outside is frightful, the warm glow of a streaming fireplace on the TV can be delightful. Liz McLaughlin, NBC News.
So we're also seeing the lights on your trees at home. Our viewers showing off their awesome decorations.
Oh, what is that?
Well, this one's from Paulette. She sent this one, and it's a tiny Grinch tree. Loving it.
That's cool.
I know. And Scott says they've switched off to a little tabletop tree this year to stop their 10-month-old from tearing it down.
Barron's got a themed tree. This is decorated with all things Harry Potter.
So cool.
That's pretty cool. We love seeing your pictures. Keep sending them our way. Just use the hashtag KGW Sunrise. My daughter and I have watched The Grinch probably 20 times now.
Really?
She can't say her R's, so it's Ginch.
This is the cartoon, not the Jim Carrey
It's
movie.
like a no, that one's a little scary. We tried that and it was a little too scary. It's like a 2015 animated one.
Okay.
But yeah, the Ginch.
I've started many holiday movies with my kids this season and have fallen asleep during every single one of them.
Same.
But eventually I'm going to watch an entire holiday movie because Christmas is, of course, 1 week from today. And with that in mind, we kick it out to Tim Gordon live at Portland International Raceway checking out Winter Wonderland.
Good morning, Drew and Nina and everybody. Hey, we're in the disco tunnel right now. That's what all the flashing lights are for. I wouldn't suggest staying in the disco tunnel for too long. It's a little hard on the head, but it's great to drive through. And we're at Portland International Raceway. This is the wonderful holiday light display that happens out here. Benefits Sunshine Division. We're going to show you more of it coming up after the break, so stay tuned.
All right, Tim, thank you. We will see you in a couple minutes. Let's get to some more of your headlines on your Wednesday morning. Southwest is canceling thousands of flights after Boeing announced plans to temporarily stop making their 737 MAX jets. Southwest has now pulled the planes from its future flight schedule through April. American Airlines has also canceled thousands of flights. Boeing 737 MAX jets have been grounded since March after 2 deadly crashes. 105 degrees. That has been the average temperature across all of Australia yesterday. It was the hottest day on record there. Today, it's even worse in some parts of the country, with it getting up to 117 degrees in one city. Remember, they're obviously in summertime now. The extreme heat and strong winds fueling more than 100 wildfires. Hey, a heads up, if you've flown through LAX or Denver's airport recently, health officials say people may have been exposed to the measles. For more on that, here's NBC's Miguel Almaguer.
During one of the busiest travel periods of the year, health officials at 2 major U.S. airports are warning travelers may have been exposed to the measles. At LAX, the county health department says 3 infected children traveling together moved through busy terminals 4 and 5 Wednesday, exposing others to the highly contagious virus.
Not everybody's vaccinated, and that's the big issue.
Later that same day, 800 miles away in Denver, the children were hospitalized after arriving at the city's international airport. Health officials say it's still unclear how many people may have come into contact with the unvaccinated minors, who may have exposed even more people at a local hospital. 179,000 people traveled through DIA on the day the children arrived.
We're concerned about people that were on the airplane. When they get off the plane, they're in the breezeway, the terminal.
With nearly 1,300 confirmed cases of the measles this year, more than 3 times the number last year, the highly contagious virus can linger in the air for hours, exactly what airport officials fear during this busy travel season.
So this is actually a commercial-less edition of KGW News at Sunrise, the 6 o'clock hour, because we just saw Tim Gordon a moment ago, and we're going right back to you, Timmy, out at PIR, Portland International Raceway. That is where they hold every year at this time something called Winter Wonderland.
Yeah, and Tim, you've been like cruising in the chilly, cold weather out there.
Yeah. Right in the back of a pickup truck. Yeah, it's been great. We're back in the disco tunnel, by the way. It's gorgeous. It's really nice, and we're kind of on the final stretch here with Kyle Camberg of this wonderful display. Got more than 250 different lighted sets, animated sets. You were the Sunshine Division. Tell us about this year's Winter Wonderland.
Yeah, so as I like to say, best family value in town, $18 at your local Safeway here in the Portland area. All the proceeds go to Sunshine Division so we can feed local families. This is our largest fundraiser, so it's about a 2-mile loop out here at PIR, and we're going in reverse on what is the racetrack. And
we're in the dinosaur area. The kids love this, right?
Yeah, Jurassic Park. Don't copyright it on us. But something like that. But yeah, the beauty of the show is, as we heard, there's gonna be a little weather this week, but it's always 70 degrees in your car, and you can get a hot chocolate and turn on the Christmas music and come through here. And as I say, where else can you pile 9 little kids into a minivan and for $18 entertain them and have a really great family, experience? And it's here.
It is here, and it's been going since the end of November. But next week you really get cranked up. You have people coming in this weekend. It's going to be, it's going now, but it's really going to crank up.
That's absolutely right. And so I always tell people there's one of 2 camps. If you have really small kids and you're worried about the wait, come early or come on the weeknights. If you have teenagers that you want to lock in the car and take their electronics away, come on the Saturdays when it's busy, and then you'll have a little time with the kids then. So
it's a great tradition, though. Pick your choice, pick your poison. It's good for you. And 27 years, but 5 years for Sunshine Division. Right. This is your biggest fundraiser. Safeway and Advance is big help in this.
Yeah, huge thank you to Safeway and Advance. 5 years they've been our biggest sponsors of this, and Safeway is our largest food donor. So this weekend, when we take out nearly 4,000 holiday meals, there's going to be turkeys that have been and sides that have been provided by Safeway and their customers. So big thank you to them. Big thank you to Advantage Credit Union as well.
And big thank you to Sunshine Division. You guys do fantastic work. 97 years now, these holiday baskets this year, and all the other great things you do. $5 million plus in food and clothing moved out to people in need in the Portland area. And we're going to finish with Santa Claus coming up, waving us goodbye from the wonderful Winter Wonderland. Check out the timing on this, you guys. I know we're live streaming and we could keep going, but I think that's probably a pretty good finish, don't you think?
Absolutely.
I'm about done. I'm about...
A little cold.
I know it's also
cold. A little cold, but it's been a lot of fun out here this morning.
Tim, thank you so much. How cold is it this morning?
Well, it's probably about 36 there, and they probably have a bit of an east wind there in the Delta Park area as well. Boy, that just makes all the difference.
And then you're moving in the van, in the truck.
Yeah. Look at that little breeze.
It is cool, though. That event for years was privately owned, and the former owner of the event would collect food for the Sunshine Division, but then the Sunshine Division had enough supporters. They had a couple of backers that gave them enough money to actually purchase the event. So now that is owned by the Sunshine Division. It's really cool if they can break even each year. Everything beyond that break-even point goes to help local families. Very cool.
And it's $18 per car, not per person.
So get the biggest car you have.
Jam everyone
load it
in.
up.
Yeah, what a great event, though.
And watch out for the Carney boys. We understand they do the driving.
They steer, right?
They steer.
I still do the gas and the brake.
You're outing him.
But the Carney boys steer.
Here we go. Our temperatures are chilly. We were wondering. Well, it's 40, that's in downtown Portland. It's 33 up at Pearson. Delta Park somewhere in between there, probably mid-30s. 36 out in Troutdale, where east winds are still blowing to about 30 miles per hour this morning, so that's super cold. It's perfectly calm, but 27 in Salem, and our bus stop weather. Some buggy spots around, mainly down in the Mid-Valley. Shower chance starts at noon, likely showers by mid-afternoon, and temperature at the bus stop the kids get out of school right at 44 degrees. A dry day east of the Cascades with highs only in the 30s. Here on the west side, the showers coming to the coast and the valley this afternoon with temperatures in the 40s. We have rain at times tonight and tomorrow, but the big soaking rain is now being held off until Friday. And then right now we have rain breaking into showers on Saturday, and that's your 7-day. Here's Christine.
Hey, thanks, Rod. Some students in Vancouver have extra incentive to behave at school. Their good deeds can earn them a trip to a vending machine. But this vending machine, it doesn't distribute chocolate, cookies, or candies. Instead, it's got a few good chapters in a fun book. Here's Brittany Falkers.
Good morning again, Eisenhower Eagles. So we have too many books in that book machine, and we are going to start getting some of them to you and in your hands in time for winter break.
They're writing the book on kindness at Eisenhower Elementary.
Nice work, my friend, showing some compassion there.
Students are rewarded with tickets for their good deeds, earning a trip to the vending machine where they count pages instead of calories.
Here it comes.
I think because it's just cool.
Anybody in the school can give one of the students one of our trait tickets, and then those trait tickets go into a bag so that they're drawn.
The idea came from the PTA, which joined with the Evergreen Schools Foundation to bring the machine to Eisenhower.
A lot of our kiddos don't have books at home, or very many books at home, and so it's an opportunity for them to earn something that they get to keep forever. And I think that the bigger piece with it is a book that they choose. So it's not a book that's handed to them.
And Saturn is the only planet with 7 rings around it. And its rings are very colorful.
The ticket trade-in happens once a week, but influences behavior every school day.
It's interesting to see where books can take you.
Some pretty fun things that we've seen happen. I have a student who was chosen previously, and he said, you know, I'm not sure that I want a book, but I'm going to pick one that my sister does because it's going to make her really happy, which in turn earned him another trait ticket for being kind to another person.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Have a fabulous rest of your day, friends.
Great story there out of Vancouver. We also have your morning poll to deliver to you right now. It's something we started a while ago. People chiming in, you can still vote as well. So we're talking about Oregon's ban. It's a ban. It's a ban on plastic bags, single-use plastic bags. This starts January 1st. It means stores will be required to charge a 5-cent fee for each paper bag they hand out. So we're asking this, will you be bringing your own bags or paying for the paper ones? And so far, the majority of you, 80%, 4 out of 5, say you will BYOB, bring your own bags. You can still weigh in. Let us know. Go to KGW.com/vote or click on the Vote tab in our news app.
All right, here's a quick look at your headlines this morning. The House is set to vote on 2 articles of impeachment today against President Trump. A live look from Capitol Hill, where things taking a slow start to get going this morning. After that debate will get underway. That could go on for hours before a formal vote is actually taken. A man accused of murdering this Vancouver teen will be in court this morning. 17-year-old Nikki Kuhnhausen had been missing since June. Her remains were found earlier this month in the Larch Mountain area of East Clark County. Detectives say Nikki met the murder suspect on Snapchat, and they got into a fight when he learned she was transgender. The plan to widen I-5 in the central core of Portland on hold now. The state had approved money to widen the freeway near the Rose Quarter to cut down on traffic, but Governor Kate Brown asked ODOT to look for alternative ways to reduce congestion there. A meeting is planned for next month.
And on your 7-day, we are dry this morning. The start of the rain chance is lunchtime, but maybe it's mid-afternoon before we really see significant showers come in. And then the big headline this morning in terms of an update, just rain at times overnight tonight, just rain at times tomorrow. Not that big a deal. The big push of heavy soaking rain has been delayed until Friday. Friday night, we could still see up to 2 inches of rain in Portland just over that 24-hour time period. Then Saturday, morning rain breaks into showers. Sunday, it's sun and scattered showers. And then right now, Monday and Tuesday look dry. Starting to see some hints of some rain on Christmas Day. We look at so many things as forecasters. There's actually one piece of data out of 20 that shows a little weak low that could produce a snowflake Wednesday morning.
We're talking a week from now.
Christmas
We're not
morning.
going to hold you to that.
I know,
That's
right?
one piece of data out of 20. But as a forecaster, you're like, well, that'd be fun.
Well, it would be fun.
Yeah.
I'd like to
Because
thank
we
our
don't have a
viewers.
show that day and we could stay.
Oh, that's true.
Well, they'd probably call us in or something. Who knows?
Yeah, probably.
Let's
not talk about
We're getting way too far ahead of ourselves. We should just thank the people that did find us over the course of the last hour, because we're not on our normal Channel 8 right now.
Yes.
Yeah. On television, NBC has taken over coverage there of the impeachment hearings. If you're watching us right now online, stay with us online, because Sunrise Extra is coming up in mere minutes, like 2 minutes from right now, and we're talking Nina
We're getting
about
a lot of comments already on Pat Doris's coal story. The coal plants in Oregon and Washington shutting down in the next 5 years. That is at risk of rolling blackouts because renewable resources, not enough to cover everyone. So people really commenting on that. So stay tuned for Sunrise Extra. Join us online. We will see you tomorrow. Bye.